Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. Great to see you again. If it's your first time here, welcome aboard. If you're returning and you've seen a couple of my other videos, glad to have you back. Do me a favor, take a minute, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get the updates whenever the videos come out. If you like what I have to say, then please go ahead and smack that like button, as all of those other video providers say. Real quick, just wanted to give you an update on who I am. My name's Joe. I'm your average guy next door. My channel is, I'm a generalist, not a specialist. That's because I know a little bit about a lot of stuff, and I have no problem at all reaching out to share this with you to try and build things up. My ultimate long-term goal is to develop a passive income stream, whether that's through, most likely through real estate investing. And what I'm doing as I'm creating these videos is I'm sharing with you the steps that I'm taking along the way. So I wanted to come out today and do a little clarification. I made a video a couple days ago titled, I made $250 this week really easy. And after review and some feedback, I wasn't quite as clear in that video as I could have been. So the technique I was talking about is called bank account churning. Bank account churning is where you take advantage of offers that banks put out to bring you in as a customer by using funds that you have sitting that are possibly not earning interest where they're at or whatever. My particular method of churning bank accounts is I keep my master account open. I don't touch my master account. And I actually have a bridge account. Right now I use Capital One 360 as my bridge account. That one kind of sits up there in cyberspace, and it allows me to move money back and forth very easily. They also have decent rates as far as things go, and you can attach 3 external bank accounts to it. So that's important for the way that I particularly like to do this bank account churning. As I said, I tend to keep my master account open. I keep my Capital One account open, and then I'll use whoever happens to offer the best bonus that particular month. Now, these accounts that I'm opening for the purpose of getting the bonuses aren't really accounts that I'm planning on using. I have a safety net. I have an emergency fund set up through Capital One. It's earning okay. I think right now it's 0.8% annually, which given today's market conditions and rates is decent. But when I see an opportunity to be able to do, for example, I just opened an account with M&T because they were offering $250 as an account opening bonus. All that you had to do for this particular one was open the account, have it fund with at least $500 worth of direct deposits over the first 3 months and meet the minimum balance requirements for the account, and they would give you $250. Well, I set up the account and I set up a bank-to-bank transfer coming from my Capital One account into this. And for whatever reason, when I funded the account with $2,501, they considered that to be a direct deposit. So the next day, I wound up getting my $250 bonus. Now, typically, they're not going to go that quick. Typically, you are going to look at having to actually do the direct deposit from an employer or a direct deposit from Social Security or a pension. If we get another stimulus check, that would qualify. Tax returns would qualify. But typically for these bonuses to work, they're not a bank-to-bank transfer. As I said, I happen to get lucky this time. So since I got lucky and I don't need to wait the 2 or 3 months, I went out and immediately started looking for some place where I could take this $250 that I received as the account opening bonus to kind of double dip and get another one going. One important thing when you're doing these types of transactions, when you're doing the bank account churning, pay very close attention to what the requirements are in order to, number 1, keep the account free, number 2, to get out of the account. I can, with the M&T account that I opened, I keep it free by keeping at least $2,500 in the account. So as I said, I had some money in my emergency fund that was sitting off to the side that was earning under 1%. I figured $2,500 kicked in here for a 6-month period with a $250 bonus. That works out to, in quick math, a 20% return on my investment annualized. but in reality 10% over 6 months, which is what you have to keep the account open for. So I felt that getting that type of a return on this small amount of money made sense for me. Since I've already gotten the bonus, I'll most likely drop the account here down to a cheaper or easier to maintain balance and move that $2,500 out and put it somewhere else. Where do you find accounts to churn? Well, very simple. You can either do a web search for best bank account bonuses August 2020, and you'll get a listing of different blogs that have compiled the information for you. Doctor of Credit or Bankrate or NerdWallet, any of these are options. Most of them are going to give you the national banks that are offering bonuses. And then if you know of a local bank, something that's just in your area that doesn't happen to be local, you can always do a web search for XYZ bank account opening bonus and see if anything pops up there. What's really nice about these is it's a way that you can get some funds in addition to the interest, in addition to having the money set off to the side, that you can then use to snowball and move it over to get additional funds. So as I had done previously, I had done the M&T account. I've since pulled out that $250. I looked for another account opening bonus, and there's a local bank around here called Fulton, and Fulton Bank has a completely free checking account, no minimum balance, no requirements. Open the account online with $25, have $500 worth of direct deposits flow in over the first 60 days, and I'm going to get a $200 bonus here. So I moved that $250 from M&T. I'm moving that over to here. And my job makes it very easy for me to switch direct deposits. I have an HR website I can log on to, and I can change my direct deposit weekly if I wanted to. So I have money that typically flows into my emergency fund each month. While I'm doing these, I just have that $250 going in to these bank accounts to satisfy the direct deposit requirements. Now, one thing to mention about these direct deposit requirements is it's just a deposit requirement. It's not a balance requirement. So once you have that deposit, once that posts on your payday, you can absolutely go into this account and transfer the money back to your bridge account. That's why it's so important to have that online bank account that allows you to link external accounts. So this money, it hits at 6 o'clock in the morning on Friday, and by 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday, it's on its way back to my Capital One 360 account. So all I'm losing is a little bit of liquidity for a day or two while I satisfy the direct deposit requirements. Then you just pay attention to the account. What's required to keep it free? Is there a paper statement fee? If there is, make sure you sign up for the electronic statements. What's the minimum term that you have to keep the account open? Well, for both the M&T account that I opened, as well as the Fulton Bank account that I opened, there are 6-month minimum requirement. So I went in and set up an alert on my calendar telling me in March, on March 2nd, that I can go ahead and close the account. And I also have a note in that to set a reminder for 13 months ahead that I would have had that account closed for X period of time. Because the other nice thing about churning these accounts is in a lot of cases, for many of them, it's not a one and done. The terms and conditions for both the Fulton and the M&T account were not have an account in the past 12 calendar months. So I have a second reminder that'll pop up in 6 months when I can close the account. I then set a reminder 13 months out saying that it is now eligible for me to reopen, and I can go ahead and start looking at that point for another bonus. Sure, it's a little bit away. It's a 19-month plan to be able to get that again, but if I can once again get another $200 or $250 just for 5 minutes of opening an account and then shifting a direct deposit, all told, it probably takes me about 20 minutes to manage this, keep my calendar entries up to date, grab the mobile apps, and set up the alerts so that I know if anything's happening with the accounts. So all told, over the course of the 6 months, it probably takes me about 30 minutes to 45 minutes to manage these. So it's very simple for me to be able to move from bank to bank because I'm not touching that master account that pays my mortgage. I'm not touching the master account where the majority of my direct deposit go. This is just supplemental money, and it allows me to supplement the income. Now, this is being reported as interest expense, so you will receive a 1099 for the interest earned at the end of the year. And I've heard some people complain that, oh my goodness, so instead of getting $200, I'm only going to wind up netting $160 or $150. Well, for a half an hour work, you got an extra $150 after taxes that you didn't have before. So I consider it well worth my time and effort. So this is something that I tend to do quite frequently, and I'll get $1,000 to $1,500 over the course of the year. If the banks pay out quickly, like the M&T did, it allows me to accelerate the time frame and put that money to work in another bank, getting another bonus. The limiting factor for me is the direct deposit requirement, because I can only spare $250 a week, even though it's coming right back out. I want to make sure that my main account gets funded properly so that I don't get into trouble with the mortgage or anything like that. So that, in a nutshell, is how you use bank bonuses to make just a little bit of extra money. Now, I mentioned before, this is not something that's going to make or break you, but what this is perfect for is for you to start jump-starting some of the other cash ideas that you might have, or some of the other ways that you might have to make some funds or to save some money. Getting $250 as a lump sum, throw it towards your credit card. If you're carrying a balance on a credit card, that's the equivalent of earning 15 to 18% on those funds, because you're reducing that balance and it's more money you keep in your pocket. Credit card debt is without a doubt one of the biggest scourges that can face anyone as they're trying to get ahead. So any extra money, if you're carrying a balance that you can put towards it, any smart money you have, like a home equity line of credit, you can put towards paying down balances. Anything where you're going to be saving that spread, you're going to come out ahead. I'm a firm believer in using the credit card system against itself and doing a 0% balance transfer. I know you're running your credit, you're checking your credit, but there's benefits to that as well, because the more credit you have, the less of an impact your balance has. So if you're smart with it, it can absolutely help you. But that's a topic for a future video. So, to summarize, keep your master account where it is. Have a bridge account or a float account or whatever you want to call it. For that, Capital One 360 or Ally Bank are both excellent choices. Online, pay you some interest on the money that you have on deposit, pay you a little bit better than what you're going to get from a brick and mortar. Don't be afraid to set up additional accounts and just do a short-term transfer of that direct deposit. So you go in, transfer the direct deposit, and later that day when your deposit hits, transfer it right back to your main bank. It's maybe a 3-day turnaround. So it does require some money management to allow the money to move between your banks. But if you're able to get that additional $200, $250, in some cases as much as $400 for, again, half an hour to an hour's worth of work, I find it well worth my time. I hope you found this video well worth your time. And if you did, I'm really hoping that you're going to do me a favor and like the video, subscribe to my channel, get notified whenever I have new material coming up. I'm going to continue talking about ways to make money, to save money. I'm going to show you some more of those home improvement tricks and some little things that you can do that, as I work on becoming a real estate investor, are things that if I decide to do my own work, it's something I'm going to need to do. If you decide to do your own work on your house, there are tips that are going to help you out as well. So, my name's Joe. I'm a generalist, not a specialist, and I appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me for a little bit of clarification. So hopefully I'll be able to come back and report to you soon that I got this additional $200 that hit, and then I'm moving on to the next one. But until then, thank you so much. Have a great day and enjoy the remainder of your day.